one good example again in regards to cold and warm pigments. The warm pigment, it will stay very similar way on the skin, so it will become a bit orangey. Yes, this is the warm pigment, and this is the cold pigment that I just throw out a little bit of the water on it, and you can see that it become darker. So this is the cold pigment, this is the warm pigment. Now, how do we actually proceed based on the Fitzpatrick scale? Right at the moment it's just the water, and I prepare for you special colors that we're gonna blend with the color correctors. So those two I'm gonna treat it as a cold colors and those two as a warm colors. So I want to show you also the difference when it becomes to the cold subtone of the skin and warm subtone of the skin. So there are subtones adequately to the Fitzpatrick scale. From the PDF file, you can see and you could read about the Fitzpatrick scale that we divided the Fitzpatrick scale from 1 till 6, and the first three are normally majority warm subtone, then the next three are the cold subtone. So let's give a proper shake and let's make this happen. Basically, I'm gonna show you based on the two very warm colors, and those colors are also blends. So blend between organic and inorganic, okay? Those are our warm colors. The first one, hop, this is the warm color, and another warm color. This is also the one that I showed you before, and now I'm gonna just mix them and blend them. As you can see, this is the color that is very difficult to blend, to mix it, yes, because this is the blend. Now, let me shake it and let me show you basically again how blends they become. Yeah, you have to just move them from one side to the other. They are not that easy to blend. We have to shake them very well, but the blends are staying a bit longer. So those warm colors, one of them, I'm gonna treat them with a cold color colorimetry, cold correction, right? So the cold correction and the warm correction. Let me put the cold one on this side and the warm one on this side. And the same thing, I'm gonna go with the cold colors as well. So this is my cold colorimetry, which is the warm one. And most probably all of you know that the orange is the one which is the color corrector. And now we're gonna make also with the cold one color corrector. And I'm gonna blend them once again to show you how nicely it can mix. So when it become to the colors that it's a nice blend, it makes quite difficult with the correction. But then those colors, they were quite warm, right? As I told you, both of them, they were warm. Do you see after color correction what happened? How intense are correctors? I put one drop of the corrector accordingly, the same amount of the pigment. So this is why we can see that this is extremely warm and this is extremely cold. Warm orange and cold olive. So I show you basically how those colors they appear on the white chart, and this basically how we can see it. You see how nice is the orange? The orange is extremely intense, and we can see it starting from early beginning, basically as soon as I put on the white page. Obviously, the color of the client's skin, it's orangey, more beige. Now, let me show you the other one, which is cold, and you can see it's strong olive. This is why we use the color correctors in regards to subtone of the client's skin. If someone is very cold, subtone, we use the warm colors. But if someone is very warm subtone and we use the warm color, so it becomes very orangey, and at the end of, let's say, healing process, and even at the end of the year of the pigmentation, it will become more orangey. In regards to the warm subtone of the skin and color correctors, they might turn a little bit too much olive or too much dark, which is completely normal as well. Now I will show you based on the other pigments that those were warm. Now I will show you the cold colors, and I will do very similar thing. So basically cold colors, those cold colors, one is inorganic, which is this one, hop, and one is blend, which is this one. And we can see the difference straight away, right? Inorganic and blend. Now, two cold colors, warm colors, warm color corrector, cold color corrector, warm, cold. I will do it the same way. So again, warm color corrector, it doesn't want to go. And as you can see, it's extremely intense. And now cold color corrector goes into, and I'm gonna shake them the same way. Have you noticed how fast it changed? Very fast, right? But still, color correctors are much more visible. Now, do you see the difference between warm color and warm color correction, warm color, cold color, and cold color correction. Basically, over here, we don't see that much warm. So we neutralize cold Fitzpatrick scale. Yes, cold subtone of the skin. Then the orange is not that much visible, although it's very intense. Now, cold subtone of the skin, warm subtone of the skin, both of them, they have the same color corrector. Where appear more? Over here, because it's warmer. So we can see how nicely it look like, but this one, it become much darker. This is why normally on warm subtone of the skin, we use cold color correction, and on cold subtone of the skin, we use warm color correction. Now, I will show you also how do they appear with the warm color corrector and cold subtone of the skin, and also cold color correction with cold subtone of the skin. So they look a bit differently. And now I'll mix them for you on the chart as well. Now, let me show you on the white plate. And now I'll show you mixed color without the water, okay? So let me put you the same how I did with the water. Basically, warm color that I would like to blend a bit of the warm brown color. And this is the color that it is blend. And another one, which is also blend and it's also warm. Okay, now I'm gonna use both of those warms. One, I'm gonna put cold color correction, and on the other one, warm color correction. I'll try to put just a little bit to not overuse the orange. And I will show you how I mix them, how I blend them. So if I blend them, I can still see a bit orangey coming out. But if I blend those two, so warm color with cold colorimetry, it becomes beautiful. So always subtone of the skin supposed to be the opposite of the corrector. So if the corrector is warm, the color is supposed to be cold. If the color is too warm and the corrector is too warm and the subtones of the skin is too warm, it will, at the end of the treatment, when it heals, appear too warm, orangey. And that is the solution. Now, let's make on the other side cold colors. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly those two colors, not mix it with water. So those two colors are one which is inorganic and the other one which is mix blend. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing. So both of them, they're cold, and for both of them I'm going to use correctors, which are going to be as our subtone of the skin, warm subtone of the skin, and now cold subtone of the skin. So cold colors. Okay, now cold color with warm color corrector. Have you noticed that it didn't go this way, the orangey way, although orange is very intense? It looks great. Now, cold color corrector with a cold pigment. And this become a little bit too cold. At the end of the healing process, can be too cold. It can go a little bit into the green or blue colors. Okay, that's basically how we recognize when it becomes to the mixing.